Hey guys, Lord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Marvel Legends Spider-Man the Animated Series Symbiote / Black Costume Spider-Man versus Carnage 2-pack. That's right. From one 90s show to another that I love to pieces, we took a look at some NECA gargoyles. We're moving on to some Spider-Man the Animated Series, and boy, let me tell you, when they first announced that they were going to be doing some Spider-Man the Animated Series figures in the Marvel Legends line, I was freaking stoked. I thought that would be awesome. Notice I said thought. Well, we can only go uphill from here, right? You'd actually be right about that. Let's just say this is the first of a series of 2-packs that kind of consistently get better over time. So, fasten your seatbelts, because while I do, full disclaimer, do really like these figures and enjoy having them and whatnot, I gotta tell you, they are not accurate representations of the source material they are set to represent. They are not even close. Maybe the Spider-Man more so than the Carnage, but definitely not the Carnage. We ain't even on the same ballpark with that one. So, with that being said, let's take a look at the accessories first, shall we? So, Symbiote / Black Costume Spider-Man comes with a pair of wall crawl hands. Pretty standard. And then he also comes with a pair of thwip hands. Now, if you watch the cartoon, especially the part where Peter Parker gets the symbiote, he doesn't thwip. He shoots the black web lines out of his wrists. Or not even his wrists, his knuckle, really. And while I can appreciate that they're kind of giving people a second chance to get the Symbiote / Black Costume Spider-Man on the quote-unquote retro Spider-Man body. This is the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man body, but it's essentially the same thing, just pinless with toe joints that are stupid. Fight me in the comments if you will, but you'll lose. While I can't appreciate that, I would have rather the money went into making Carnage actually look like he came out of the freaking cartoon and not the comics. I don't mind having another Carnage, especially one with butterfly joints, because I think Marvel Legends can do butterfly joints well when they do them well, and on this body they're done pretty well. But at the same time, I can't appreciate the fact that they're giving people a second chance by including these thwip hands. So if you wanted to use this for just the cloth black suit, you can do that. But in the way of Carnage's accessories, he does come with the weapon hands, and in the series, Carnage had a very distinct axe hand and a spear hand, and instead of that, we get the same axe hand and claw from the Monster Venom Wave Carnage, excuse me. And while I do like this axe, because it has the extra paint, it's really gummy. Like, it's really gummy. And in the show, it was shaped more like a double-headed axe with a spike going through the middle of it. And then, he never used the Freddy Krueger hand, so I don't even know why this is here. But, there you go. I guess it's better than nothing, especially if you don't have the Monster Venom Wave Carnage. This is a pretty good fill-in, stand-in, whatever you want to call it, in for that. And of course you do get the Cletus Cassidy head, which I think is good enough for the cartoon. I think he had bigger eyes and overall just looked more psychotic, but yeah, this is fine. It works. Gets the job done. You know, it's Cletus Cassidy. That said, I would have liked to have seen a PO'd Peter Parker head for the Symbiote Spider-Man, but it is what it is. So we might as well move Carnage out of the way here and just talk about the good thing in this 2-pack first, because this Spider-Man is actually not too bad. I think the body is freaking humongous. You saw how tall it was next to Carnage, because at the end of the day, they could just throw all the Spider-Man animated characters on like the Bucky Cat body or something like it, and I wouldn't dot an I, because it's a little bit better as far as the physique from that cartoon. Everyone's built like a brick house, and you know, this figure is not. His neck is kind of long, his shoulders are kind of low, kind of small. He's got a crotch gap the size of Kansas. He's got stupid toe joints. It's okay, I guess. It's better than the body mold they gave the Walmart exclusive animated Spider-Man, which we'll talk about that in a minute here, because that's some pretty fun times going on there, as far as lack of communication and or ignorance is concerned. But as far as articulation on this body goes, the head's on a double ball peg. You can look up, you can look down. It's got the stupid little trench in the back for the peg to go into, even though it doesn't need it at all. If they just sat the ball a little higher, it would be just fine. It does rotate as well, and you do get some tilt out of it. Shoulders go out to the side, they rotate around. You get your butterfly joint, you get a bicep swivel, double elbow, which is really tight on this figure. There you go. I will mention too, he's got the blue cell shading, which I don't think is terrible on this guy. I would have probably taken it without any on the Spider, if I'm being honest. He's got a little gray here and there on the Spider, but as far as the blue lines are concerned, he is drawn like that in the comics sometimes. So if you wanted to use this as a comic Spider-Man in the black suit, you totally could do that. He's got hinge swivel wrists. He's got a diaphragm joint that crunches that far forward, or that far back, I mean. That far forward. It does tilt side to side. It does rotate. He's got an ab crunch that leans that far forward, that far back. You can get 90 if you use both, so that's good. He's got drop down hips, and he still can't do the split. I mean, really. Proof that drop down hips are not a godsend in any way. He can kick forward though, about a right angle, so that's good. He's got a thigh cut. He's got a double knee. That does work. And he does have a boot cut. Now, I will tell you, the boot cuts on this guy, you can see how butter smooth that is. He's got something weird going on down here. And you don't have to do this. You can just pop it apart and use the right kind of soap to loosen that. At the time I got this figure, I didn't have that. But the peg going into the boot, or the calf I should say, it had 2 notches on it. It was like twice as long as it needed to be. So I cut the end off, and I used some soap, and now it's butter smooth. Yeah, I didn't have to do that, but out of sight, out of mind, I'll probably forget I even did that after a while. So, you know, I modified this joint. It works a lot better now than it did. It was really stiff and getting kind of stuck before. It's basically built like the thigh, only it doesn't have as much circumference as the thigh, so you could have broke it if you weren't careful. So rather than do that, I modded it, and I'm happy with the result, but kind of wish I had the soap I had now that I had then, because I could have just used that and it would have been fine. But it is what it is. It does not matter. It's in the past. That said, he does have an ankle hinge, a rocker, toe joint. That's kind of, it's not loose, but it's not tight either. Then he does have peg holes at the bottom of the feet. For the stand, he does not come with, but I'm sure you could rig something up if you wanted to. But that's the symbiote / black costume Spider-Man in a nutshell. Look at the head sculpt there. That's definitely Spidey animated series, if I do say so myself. A decent figure. A decent figure. Now we gotta talk about this. Okay, so being a Carnage fan that I am, I like him a lot, okay? He did not look like this in the cartoon at all. Maybe from the neck down, minus the hands and feet. He kind of looked like that. He's got kind of the black, more so than the red, on his body, right? His head is oval shaped. It should be a lot more round with a little kind of butt crack on the top, and then some goofy kind of cartoon pupils where his eyes meet here. His hands could have 3 fingers instead of 5. And then he could have clawed feet, just like the hands, 2 kind of claws. That would have been fine, even on this body mold, even with the tendrils and stuff. And we also don't get the tendrils on the legs, so, you know, this is not even close to what he looked like in the cartoon, other than the paint on the body for the most part. I would say that's good enough, but yeah, man, they did my boy Cletus Cassidy here dirty, and didn't go that extra step and giving us something that looked like it stepped out of the cartoon. Whereas the rest of this line, seems like every other figure got their own unique body mold. Not this time, at least not with this first set here, so I don't know what the deal with that is, but unfortunately, I'm still waiting for an animated series accurate Carnage. Not as bad as that retro card Hobgoblin, though, I will tell you that. That said, I got a call, I think was it Dwight Stahl or Jesse Falcon that said this during Comic-Con. They said that they could sculpt a skull and a hood better than Mattel. Come on. Give me a break. You can sculpt figures from the neck down most of the time, yet you have the audacity to crap on Mattel, who haven't raised their prices and give you much more for your money than you clowns? Come on, dude. Like, I'm sorry, I'll give anyone the right to talk smack when it's deserved, but when you're talking out of your keister and I hear about it, I'm gonna call you out. Okay? So remember that next time you want to run your yapper. So, with that being said, Carnage's articulation, he's got a disc hinge, which I'm a double ball peg guy myself, but this is not terrible. So you can look up and down, he can tilt a little bit, he can rotate side to side. He doesn't have the lollipop guild crap going on, so that's good. He does have a butterfly joint that works. On this body, it's pretty good. He does have shoulder rotation that also works. I think this is Sunfire, if I'm not mistaken. He does have bicep swivel. Double elbow that works pretty well. You know, when you get the top one to work here. There you go. You can do a little bit more than 90. He's got the tendrils on his lower arms. That's cool, I guess. He's got a swivel in the wrist with a hinge. He's got an ab crunch. Moves forward and back pretty well. He's got a waist twist. He's got T-jointed hips. They can kick forward and back. And on this guy, they can kick all the way out to the side. Look, no drop-down hip. Drop-down hip. I rest my case. So all you guys thinking that more moving parts is what you need, you're stupid and don't know anything about engineering. Okay. Now that I PO'd, half the people are going to leave me nasty comments when this video is over. Probably not when it's over. They're just going to do it now. He's got a thigh cut that works pretty well. He's got a double knee. He's got a boot cut, which looks atrocious when you use it. His are kind of tight too, but I didn't have to take his apart to loosen him up. And he's got a hinge in the foot with a rocker. A little loose on that foot, but it's fine, I guess. And he's got a really tightly clenched buttocks. What Spider-Man got? Oh, they both do. Look at that. Good cakes on these guys. So, there you go. He's got the same tendrils that plug into the back of the Carnage from the Monster Venom wave and the was it Ultimate Green Goblin wave? That was years ago. So they've been getting their mileage out of these parts. These Carnage parts, to say the very least. This head's been used, gosh, 4 times, I think? Because we did get the, whatchamacallit there, the Ben Reilly Spidey. And then, of course, we got the re-releases of Carnage. Not the Venompool wave one. That one had its own body, which I kind of wish this one had. If they were going to reuse a body, that would have been sick if they used that one again. But it's Sunfire. It at least has the butterfly joints and good range in the hips, so I can't dog it there. That's pretty solid. But, yeah, man, a little disappointing. Especially since I think you could pick this up on BBTS a little cheaper than I got it, direct from Hasbro Pulse. So, not sure what's going on there, man. Really not. It also should be worth noting that the Deadpool Hydra Bob 2-pack, I just got that, and it came with like 3 to 5 times as much stuff as these guys. So, you know, what the heck. And I think it cost the same, if not maybe a little less. So, you do the math. But with that being said, let's now move on and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is the symbiote / black costume Spider-Man and Carnage from the quote-unquote animated series line alongside their 616 counterparts, at least the best representations of their 616 counterparts we have in the Life of the Marvel Legends line at this current time, in the year 2023, that is. We have the Retro Card Symbiote / Black Costume Spider-Man and the Monster Venom Wave Carnage. Now, I do like the Venom Pool Wave Carnage. Don't get it twisted. That's arguably the best one we have, but this one is a little bit more classic looking, so we're going with that. And as you can see, the old Carnage is a little taller than the new one. And the new Spider-Man seems to be a little taller than the older one. Very weird. Speaking of weird, moving him out of the way. So another Spider-Man can take his place. Here is the Walmart exclusive Retro Card animated Spider-Man. You notice something a little off there? Maybe a half a head off? Yeah, they're not on the same body. That's just stupid. I don't care who you are. It takes a certain level of incompetent, ignorant, dumb arsery to screw something so simple as a body reuse up. I mean, really. And they say they sculpt skulls and hoods better. I mean, come on, people. What are you doing? That said, moving Carnage out of the way here. For the character that would have made much more sense to put in this 2-pack, if it was going to include Carnage, here's the PulseCon exclusive Retro Card Venom, who is large and in charge and kind of off screen there. Let's see if I can move him a little bit. There we go. Alright. Now you can at least see him a little bit better, and I think that works. Carnage being shorter than Venom, that totally makes sense. Spider-Man being shorter than Venom, that totally makes sense. But this would never happen because Spider-Man didn't have the symbiote costume the same time as Venom here, so that's kind of weird. That said, moving him out of the way, we of course couldn't talk about symbiote / Black Costume Spider-Man without bringing in Shocker! So there you go. And again, they should be about the same height, and clearly they are not. So before old Peter Parker here takes Shocker to the ends of the earth and throws him off a cliff, we'll get him and Venom out of here so we can bring in our 2 regulars, the infamous Mythic Legion's brother Mandibulus, who's dropping his club there. That's not good. Come on, buddy. There we go. And okay, 11 Spawn, who of course is so big he's going off screen. So with that being said, it's now time to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and at the end of the day, while I do still really like and enjoy having these figures, there's no denying that they are not even close to accurate to the source material they are meant to be representing here. I mean, let's be honest, this Carnage is essentially a comic book Carnage painted, quote-unquote painted, to look like the animated series one. The symbiote / Black Costume Spider-Man, on the other hand, yeah, I guess you can make that work, but it not being on the same body as the Walmart exclusive Retro Card animated Spider-Man is just stupid. There's no other way to spin it. That is just stupid and incompetent and, quite honestly, inconsistent, because there has been no plans to release an animated Spider-Man on this body with the regular suit, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. So, with that being said, if you are interested in having a comic-based Carnage and symbiote / Black Costume Spider-Man in your Legends display, and you missed the Monster Venom Wave one and the Retro Card one, I would say this is a safe bet. Again, I believe this 2-pack is up for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store, a little cheaper than I paid for it, but that's the game you play. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later.